Once a Nanticoke Indian settlement known as Broad Creek Town, Laurel, Delaware is home to more historic buildings than any town in Delaware. But it is so much more than buildings. It's a community of people looking out for each other. For decades, Johnny Janosic led that charge.
He thought outside just the furniture business. He wanted to help give back to the community because he got so much from the community in Laurel.
And that giving is what supports the Good Samaritan aid organization.
The mission of the organization is to help the less advantaged in the Laurel community.
It's also a community that is looking to the future by pulling from the past.
We're focusing in on downtown Laurel to help preserve the incredible housing stock that's here.
And giving families a place to call home.
There are so many opportunities in Laurel that people are missing that they just don't know about.
Today on DelmarvaLife Small Town Series, we shine the light on Laurel. Good afternoon and welcome to our third installment of DelmarvaLife's Small Town Series. Today, we're traveling to the western Sussex County town of Laurel.
Laurel's been around since 1683, and Lisa, did you know that it was considered one of the wealthiest towns in the state?
Yeah, because its location near the Nanticoke River. In fact, at one time, the town consisted of, get this, 11 general stores, 7 grocery stores, 5 millinery, and several other shops. But we'll get to its history and all of that a little later.
Although Laurel was founded in 1683, it wasn't incorporated as a town until 1883. Tragedy actually struck the town 16 years later when a lighted kerosene lamp was overturned in a stairway near Central Avenue and Market Street. Without a fire apparatus, the entire section of the north side of Market Street was destroyed. In an effort to prevent further disastrous fires, the Laurel Volunteer Fire Department was then organized a couple of months later in October of 1899. So legend has it that it was an argument that started the fire. I guess the lamp was tossed?
Possibly.
Is that a safe thing to say?
Yeah, tossed at another person, and the argument apparently was over gambling.
Oh, I guess if you're going to argue about something,
yeah,
might as well be money.
One thing about Laurel, Delaware, 6 former Delaware governors hailed from the town of Laurel. They include Nathaniel Mitchell. He was governor of Delaware from 1805 to 1808. John Collins from 1821 to 1825. William Barclay Cooper from 1841 to 1845. William Ross, we've all heard of him, from 1851 to 1855. Joshua Marvell, he only served from January of 1895 to his death in April of 1895. And Albert Nortrand Carville, who served 2 terms, one from 1949 to 1953, and then again from 1961 to 1965.
Who doggy?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of numbers in there. I got lost a little bit. But we can't mention famous people from Laurel without mentioning Kathy Parker. Okay, back in 1965, she was named Miss 16, as in Channel 16 at WBOC. She was Kathy Jean Allen back then. In 2017, she was named Laurel's Citizen of the Year by the Laurel Chamber of Commerce.
And she's been on the show before, very active in Laurel. Well, a little later in the show, we're going to learn how one organization has been working to revitalize parts of Laurel. One building that was recently restored is the old Laurel train station. Now, years ago, this is where travelers to Laurel were welcomed as they arrived by train. The train station now houses the Laurel Heritage Museum. It features an extensive collection of objects from the collections of Laurel's history, society, and the Division of Historical and Cultural Affairs. Now, the Heritage Museum is open on the first Sunday of each month from 1 to 4 p.m.
And of course, there are plenty of other neat places and events to check out in the town of Laurel, like the 4th of July celebration and, of course, the Laurel Christmas Parade. But let's get to the Broad Creek Bike and Brew, which takes place this Saturday. This is the perfect opportunity to explore many of Laurel's treasures, such as the Woodland Ferry, Trap Pond State Park, and so much more.
And it all wraps up at Janosic Park on the Broad Creek, complete with local microbrews and a barbecue chicken dinner. Again, the Laurel Broad Creek Bike and Brew takes place this Saturday, June 1st from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. It begins and ends at North Laurel Elementary School, and there will be a finish party at Janosic Park, and you've actually previewed that event in the past.
I have, and it's really cool just to kind of see everybody gearing up and getting ready and hopping on their bikes. And,
Gearing up.
oh, I didn't even.
You didn't even do that on purpose?
No. I'm just a funny guy.
You are a funny guy. Well, the Laurel Public Library is kicking off summer with a free block party. The event is a way to also kick off summer reading programs and summer meal programs. During the block party, they're going to have free food and snow cones, lots of activities, vendors, performers, watermelon eating contests, and awesome prizes. The Laurel Public Library's free block party is Saturday, June 8th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Nice. Have you ever done a watermelon eating contest?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Just gotta like scrape through. It's cool. Well, another free event is happening later on in the summer. Laurel Watermelon Day is August 3rd. So mark it on your calendar now. This is the first year for the event that will be a full day of watermelon themed activities, including watermelon slinging contest, watermelon seed spitting contest, watermelon eating contest, watermelon bowling, face painting, and so much more.
You get the idea.
The event's free with the exception of food, of course. You're asked to bring a canned or non-perishable food item for the donations to the Laurel School Food Bank. It's pretty cool. Laurel Watermelon Day is again Saturday, August 3rd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Southern venues on Laurel Road.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Laurel is rich with history dating back to the 17th century. Still ahead on today's Small Town series, we'll show you where you can take a step back in time to see what Laurel life was like in days gone by. We also chat with the keepers of that history.
And we can't shine the spotlight on the town of Laurel without paying tribute to one of its biggest benefactors. We have the story of Johnny Janasek and how he went from an impoverished boy to a successful businessman and philanthropist.
One of the ways Johnny Janasek helped so many people in Laurel was through the Good Samaritan thrift store. But this is much more than a place to find treasures. Find out how it helps people in the area who need a little boost.
And while we learn about Laurel's past, we can't ignore its bright future. Find out how organizations are coming together to give some of the aging areas a town makeover while giving families a place that they're proud to call home. You're going to want to sit back, relax, and learn all things Laurel.
We're going to dig in with our DelmarvaLife Small Town series right after the break.
DelmarvaLife is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. The law offices of Tunnel & Razor, Spicer Brothers Construction, Gateway Subaru, and A&A Companies.
The third installment of DelmarvaLife's Small Town series brings us to the Sussex County town of Laurel. Now, the neat thing about today's show is that while we're seeing some of Laurel's plans for the future, we're also taking time to explore the town's rich history.
And if there's one thing the people of Laurel take pride in or on themselves, it's their roots. In fact, one stop at the Laurel Historical Society headquarters, the Cookhouse, and you'll be able to see many items of years gone by, each one with its own story to tell.
The Laurel Historical Society strives to make this small town history acceptable to not only locals but visitors as well. Board member and newsletter editor Chris Slavens is very passionate about his hometown.
The Laurel Historical Society was founded in 1977, a year after the bicentennial celebration, which revived interest in local history here in Laurel and really all across the United States. At that time, it was started by about 60 members. Since then has grown to over 200, and we do now have 2 museum properties as well as a third that is under restoration that we're currently working on.
Although the time-traveling technology does not quite exist, walking into the Laurel Heritage Museum will certainly take you back in time.
So here at the Laurel Heritage Museum, which is actually in the old Laurel train station, which was built around the turn of the 20th century, the museum features primarily photographs from the Waller Studio, which was an early photograph studio here in Laurel through much of the 20th century. We also have a collection of baskets from the Marvel Package Company. So Joshua Marvel invented many different kinds of fruit baskets for everything from strawberries and blueberries and things like that up to large baskets for apples and larger produce. And he founded the Marvel Package Company here in Laurel, late 1800s, employed many people from the town, both black and white, and this led to Laurel becoming very prosperous at that time. And actually around the turn of the 20th century, Laurel was considered to be one of the most important towns in the state.
And in case you're still hungry for more history and knowledge, the Cookhouse is another beautiful reminder of what Laurel has been.
The Cookhouse was actually donated to the Laurel Historical Society by Haroldine Cook Shaner. And prior to that, it had been owned by at least 3 generations of the Cook family. That is where we have most of our artifacts. One of the most important artifacts that we have at the Cookhouse would be our Ralph corner cupboard, which was made by Thomas Ralph or his sons in the early 1800s. And Ralph furniture was made here around Laurel at that time, and even to this day it fetches high prices at auctions and in antique stores.
One artifact in particular offers a more spiritual piece of history.
Another artifact at the Cookhouse connected with Captain Lewis specifically is also the Kendall Lewis family Bible, which is dated 1789, and that is held in the Fowler Research Center, which is part of the Cookhouse. And that's where we have literally thousands of photographs, documents, books, and other artifacts connected to the history of Laurel.
The Laurel Historical Society will continue to acquire pieces of history, including their most recent acquisition, the Hitchens Homestead.
The main house was built by Emanuel Twilley in 1878, and he was listed as a millwright and a miller. He actually owned the flour mill there, or the grist mill, as it was called, on Records Pond. The house is built in what's known as the rural Gothic revival style, very distinctive steep roof, vertical siding, decorative wooden gingerbread trim all around the house. The property also has a second house as well as some outbuildings on it. The smaller house, which we call either the tenant house or the miller's house, is actually older. We don't know exactly when it was built. It was there at least by 1868 because it does appear on the Pomeroy and Beers Atlas of 1868.
How refreshing to see a local town on Delmarva remembering its roots and keeping its history alive.
If you'd like to check out Hitchens Homestead for yourself, you're invited to a hoedown at the Hitchens Homestead. That event takes place on Saturday, June 8th from 4 to 7 p.m. Music, food, fun, and of course so much more. So go check it out. It's hard to imagine the town of Laurel without Johnny Janosic World of Furniture.
Yeah, before it became one of the biggest furniture stores in America, it was located in an old chicken house. Now, the story of Johnny Janosic is a true rags to riches tale. It begins with a young man showing up in Laurel with an empty stomach and only $2 to his name. The rest, as they say, is history. Born in Hopewell, Virginia, Johnny Janosic made his first trip to Laurel when he was 16 years old.
He came to see a friend and he stayed for 2 weeks and he liked it so much he went back home, and within 2 weeks he came right back.
Janosic was able to find work at a cannery in Laurel while finishing school.
He didn't want to be like his family and not have an education and not have a job. He had an opportunity and he was welcome here, so he decided to come back and graduate and then get a job and go in the Navy.
Janosic was stationed on the USS Louisville for 2 years before his ship was hit by a suicide bomber in 1944. Janosic was injured and would eventually come home.
But he was a communications officer there, and that's why he learned about TV and radio.
And what he learned, he was able to use when he got home.
So when he came home, he started servicing TVs and doing antennas.
He was also able to reconnect with a girl he met in school before the war.
They ended up going out and he went in the Navy and came back and got married.
Janosic and his new bride, Mary Louise, ran his business out of their home.
He started the business in 1954, and then he decided to, after his house, doing the business there, he decided to move uptown to Laurel.
In the early 1970s, Johnny and Mary Louise added furniture to their store and business began to pick up.
Oh yeah, that was a really big thing because he was like one of the biggest businesses. There was all kinds of businesses downtown, jewelry stores, pharmacies, and he fit right in there.
And all the while, Johnny Janosic was always coming up with ideas to make the Laurel community better.
He was always doing something. He stayed pretty busy doing the business, but he would think of things to do for the community, and he would come up with ideas and then jump to something else, some other idea, and then Mom would follow through. So he was always giving to his community as much as he could.
It was the late 70s when Janosic decided to move the business out of downtown Laurel and onto Route 13.
Downtown was starting to die. The businesses were leaving. He had a vision of, he wanted to be on 13 where the main traffic was and be visible. And so he saw this chicken house over here that had been an experimental chicken house factory. It had cement floors, but for, about a year, we had to go out there and paint the walls and refinish it and make it a store. And once we opened, it just took right off.
You've passed my store on Route 13. It used to be a broiler house filled with chicks, but not anymore. Now it's filled with Whirlpool appliances, RCA TV sets, and the finest furniture. Where else would you want to buy?
Johnny Janosic.
But not all of Janosic's time was spent at the store. He started every day helping connect people in the community with whatever they needed through the Good Samaritan thrift store.
He thought outside just the furniture business. He wanted to help give back to the community because he got so much from the community in Laurel.
Lori says he even ran his business with his employees as his top priority.
We had like 300 employees. His motivation was to keep those families employed, even in hard times. He would do whatever he had to do to make it go.
In 2006, Johnny Janosic World of Furniture expanded into this 180,000 square foot showroom and today has 3 more locations. Janosic died on July 1st, 2016 at 90 years old, but he left a legacy for the community he had helped so much. You can see that legacy throughout the town of Laurel.
He helped build the Hope Houses in Laurel to help battered women and so forth to have a place to go. He helped start LRC, which is Laurel Redevelopment Corporation, which helped clean up Laurel.
One of the group's biggest projects was to clean up the area near the south bank of Broad Creek.
It was a lot of older homes run down, and they decided to knock the homes down. And then after they did that, Dad decided he was going to make a park there and planted all the grass, every tree in there. Him and some guys that worked for us. I mean, they laid every brick on the paveway, did everything. It's beautiful.
And now the park is named for the man that made it possible. For Lori, the park and all the other dreams Johnny Janosic turned into reality are a reminder of the man who touched so many hearts.
I think of him, and when I see the park, when I see Good Samaritan, when I see the Hope House, I ride by all those on the way home. And yeah, I really miss him.
Truly a great man. Johnny Janosic's legacy of philanthropy continues. Johnny Janosic World of Furniture has a partnership with Habitat for Humanity. Now, when you donate your used furniture to any Habitat Restore resale outlet, you will receive 15% off your next furniture purchase at Johnny Janosic. There are some restrictions, so we have a link on our website, DelmarvaLife.com. You'll get more information there. As we learned before the break, Johnny Janosic started every day by volunteering at the Good Samaritan thrift store in downtown Laurel. He helped make connections for people in need. Now, the Good Samaritan Aid organization has been around for decades and has helped countless people.
That help comes from money made from the organization's thrift store. And as WBOC's Heidi Warosta found out when she paid the store a visit, from one day to the next, you never know what you'll find.
You never know what you're going to find at your local thrift store. Sometimes it can be unique, and with a lot of space, there's bound to be something. And knowing that when you make a purchase from the Good Samaritan, it goes to benefit the local neighborhood.
The mission of the organization is to help the less advantaged in the Laurel community.
For every dollar they collect in the store, it goes right back into the community in the form of aid.
We help those individuals when they get in a jam by paying for utilities, paying for rent, paying for doctor's bills, paying for prescriptions, if there's a need. We do legitimize the need before we just automatically donate.
The Good Samaritan is a nonprofit organization and has been around for over 30 years. It was first started by a group of members from nearby churches and with the help of local families.
The Janosic family were huge supporters.
The Good Samaritan takes in items that are donated, practically anything that is of use, like clothing and furniture.
We do occasionally get calls from local furniture stores where they may have items that are too expensive, that have been damaged in some way, but too expensive to send back to the distributor. And the distributor just says, you know, donate it to a local charity. We've had that happen several times.
Donations are also provided through the surrounding community.
Well, we get calls constantly for people who have passed away, families who have had a loved one pass away, and they want us to come clean out the house. So we go and pick up furniture, you know, anything that they want us to take.
The Good Samaritan is actually 2 thrift stores and totals over 10,000 square feet.
One thrift store is largely clothing and shoes, gently used, gently worn, sometimes brand new things. The other thrift store, just to the west of the original building, is filled with furniture and glassware and things that you would need for a house to start housekeeping.
Donations are well appreciated. Inventory is constantly being added. For every visit, you'll likely find something different. Tingle says that's probably the best part about a thrift store. And it's the volunteers who stock the racks.
The unique part is we don't have paid employees. We are totally volunteer.
Tingle says that volunteers are hard to come by.
We are always looking for volunteers and encourage anyone who has a couple of hours a week, or maybe, you know, wants to work a day a month, or the schedule can be as flexible as you want it to be. Just call the store, let us know you're interested, or stop by.
The Good Samaritan is only open 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But those 3 days are just the amount of time you need to make a difference in the community.
Wow, you really absolutely have no idea what you could find. Tingle adds that they don't just help out Laurel, but also in the Delmar area.
Route 13 runs through Laurel, and as you are making the trip, you can't miss Johnny Janosic World of Furniture. We talked about it earlier in the show. Well, there's another Laurel landmark just a few hundred feet away from that massive furniture store. It's the Route 13 Outlet Market. It's one of those places I know I've passed a million times and wondered, what's in there? Well, as 1025 WBOC's Corey Phoebus recently found out, a lot.
For over 35 years, there has been a place where people right here on Delmarva could get shopping done, maybe go get a watch repair, maybe just spend an afternoon, and that place is the Route 13 Outlet Market. You've seen it, you've been here, you've had tons of experiences, and memories were made here, and I'd like to introduce you to the woman behind it all. Folks, this is Cecilia Roberg. Cecilia, how are you?
Sorry. I'm fine. Actually, I'm really not the owner. My husband has a partner, Mark Handler.
Sure.
But they all work full time. My husband works, Mark Handler works, his wife works, and I don't work, and I love the market, so every Friday I come down here if I'm in town.
There have been people who have stayed here for 35 years. For example, the donuts. I mean, my gosh, those fried donuts.
And people know about her, and they come for her, and she's there. Everybody loves her.
Now, not only can you do some shopping here, but you can also do get services, repairs, and things like that,
Yes, we do.
right?
We have watch repairs, jewelry repairs. I think we have a shoe repair place. If we don't, we're getting one.
TV repair, I saw.
TV repair, yes. And we have a lot of repair places, yes. A lot of services that we do.
Now, I noticed, and this is probably one of the coolest parts about the Route 13 market, is the largest bookstore I think I have ever seen is right under this roof.
Isn't that magnificent? Everybody loves that bookstore. They have like over 30,000 books. Over 30,000.
And they're all well organized.
And guess what? 95% of them cost $1.
Really?
$1. It's a dollar bookstore, yeah. Nobody goes in there and comes out with one book. You go to get your free book, you always stay around and pick up other books. So it's kind of good business for him. I
also enjoy the produce market. You have things there from different countries. You can get Americanized foods. You can get things from Latin countries.
Absolutely. They're very, and they're good. You know, they're really good. I don't think they sell it unless it's fresh. Yeah.
So when you come down here, obviously you could do a little bit of shopping. If you get a watch repair done, you can wait, get your watch repaired that day, do a little bit of shopping. But also with over 80 vendors, you're going to make a friend before you leave.
Oh, absolutely. And they come back. We used to have an Avon lady that they weren't even interested in Avon. They came just to see Peg. Her son has the place now. But, you know, they always do make friends. We have a unique African store that they sell stuff from Africa that you can't get other places.
Right.
You know, the baskets and the stuff that they make.
Sure, and they're all so beautiful as well.
Yes, they are. They
Yes.
really are. They're very well made.
Cecilia, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure to be able to talk with you today.
Oh, thank you. And don't forget, we have excellent food. We
Yes.
have food from all over. We have wonderful food. And we have the donuts that have been here ever since we opened.
So you have people that are coming from all over the country to take part in food from all over the world.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, folks. So whether you're here to eat, shop, make some new friends, or get some repairs done, it's the Route 13 Outlet Market, a piece of history that is continuously getting better.
And as you probably figured out, there are dozens of vendors within the Route 13 Outlet Market. If you'd like a list of all of them, go to our website, DelmarvaLife.com.
And another jaw-dropping shot from Chopper 16. And when you have a quaint small town like Laurel in your backyard, it's easy to make it a destination for a day trip getaway. But when you're looking for something a little farther away, you may want to head to Laurel as well.
That's where you'll find Travel Debbie. We sent WBOC's Heidi Warosta to Laurel to find out how you can plan a stress-free vacation.
Wanting to get away from reality? How about a visit to an exotic destination somewhere across the world? There are lots of different options for choosing a destination, and it can be stressful. Deborah Mitchell is a local business owner in Laurel, and her 40 years in the travel industry helps her help you plan that vacation.
We're an advocate for our travelers before they travel, while they're traveling, and when they come home. So I'm sure people appreciate it.
Mitchell says she strives for a personal relationship with her customers. She wants to get to know what you like and find those experiences that you enjoy while on vacation.
And so we start with an appointment, whether that's on the phone or in person. And then the next step is I would present you with some options, and then we would work together to bring those options to what you're looking for in line with the style of hotel that you want, your budget, and your experiences.
She says 90% of her clients are repeat customers. She also uses other local businesses in the area.
One of the partnerships that I'm able to have locally is Artez West with Monarch Transportation. He has a limousine and shuttle service. He does bridal parties, weddings, and we've teamed together on some expos. He also will pick my clients up at their home, take them to the airport or their cruise ship, and then he will go back and get them, so that their vacation actually starts with them just walking out their front door, and their services begin right away.
The Laurel Public Library offers passport services.
So in addition to the limousine services, right up the street within walking distance is the Laurel Public Library, and the library offers passport services. So it's very convenient for my clients to be able to come in, get their information a block away, their passport applications, their passport photos. So that's a great resource for our community, and something that we can work to support one another with.
It's a fairly new service that the library is offering.
We are a fully licensed passport agency. Most of our staff are licensed passport agents. So we offer full service to local businesses, to the travel agencies and everything. People can come in, they can have their pictures taken. We offer the expedited services, everything you would get if you went to the post office or any passport agency.
Mitchell says that these other services add to her business and add to the community by working together.
Even though we're a small agency, through our affiliations, we can offer the same perks that any larger or online agency can offer. So we're able to give the onboard credits, we're able to get actually sometimes more perks than they're able to get.
Giving you small town convenience that connects to a world of getaway opportunities.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Mitchell plans for vacations all over the world, and get this, she has clients in other parts of the world who plan for trips to visit the U.S.
Huh.
A lot has changed over the past 200 years or so in Laurel, and we've shown you that change in today's DelmarvaLife Small Town series, Laurel. Now let's talk about the town's future.
Of course, no one can accurately predict the future, but in the case of Laurel, the future is in very good hands. WBOC's Heidi Warosta shows us how this town may look a little different over the next few years with renovations and improvements.
With a town of only a few thousand people, the town of Laurel has a lot to offer. Laurel Redevelopment Corporation Executive Director Brian Shannon says that within a 6 to 10 mile radius of Laurel, there are tons of outdoor activities.
Fishing, biking, paddling, bird watching, all of the mill ponds around here, just offer a lot of opportunities.
And those opportunities continue to grow because of a new project planned by the Laurel Redevelopment Corporation, or the LRC.
We've been working on a project called the Ramble for about 5 years, 6 years now, which is a conceptual plan to create a river walk along Broad Creek in a 4-block area connecting a state park to a town-owned park on both sides of Broad Creek.
The creek runs right through the center of town, and Shannon says the residents of Laurel will have a place where they can get out and enjoy Broad Creek and be with nature.
There are so many opportunities in Laurel that people are missing that they just don't know about.
The Ramble is only getting started, and plans are in the making for phase 1 of the project, with a groundbreaking in 2020. Shannon says the LRC is acquiring rundown buildings along both sides of Broad Creek in order to accomplish that goal.
The mission of the Laurel Redevelopment Corporation is to enhance the quality of life in Laurel by obtaining, revitalizing, rehabilitating properties in order to foster economic development within the town.
The LRC is not doing it alone. Others are stepping in.
The town of Laurel, Milford Housing Development Corporation, Sussex Habitat for Humanity.
Sussex Habitat for Humanity is helping by renovating rental properties and turning them into single-family homes.
We're focusing in on downtown Laurel to help preserve the incredible housing stock that's here.
Sussex County Habitat for Humanity Executive Director Kevin Gilmore says that in a 4-block area, 10 new owner-occupied homes are being built or renovated.
We do our part to help renovate a few houses, to help improve the downtown area and make it a place that people can live.
He says that Laurel is a great place to work and to live, so it's important the community invests in the town.
The community is so invested in themselves that they come out and they help with activities, they help with the amazing events that go on here in town. And I just invite people to come check it out.
Shannon couldn't agree more. Ever since 1992, the LRC has purchased, cleared, and rebuilt more than 30 properties for development, and it's all done through local people.
The Laurel Redevelopment Corporation's board is made up of local business people and residents of Laurel. So they have a vested interest in doing what is the absolute best thing for Laurel.
With the Ramble and the revitalization of downtown Laurel, it sure is bringing in
a lot of positive energy right here in town.
And he's glad that they could do their part and transform these homes and make them livable so that more people can enjoy the Ramble right here along Broad Creek.
Future's so bright there, better put my sunglasses on. Shannon also says that the Ramble will likely bring in tourism, getting more people to come to Laurel, and help attract new businesses. He says that they've had pretty good success so far.
Yeah, because they have the community all coming together to work on one common goal.
Which is always great to see.
It is. Well, I tell you what, I am ready to make a trip to Laurel.
Seriously,
hang out on Broad Creek. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
I learned so much about Laurel, and I thought I've grown up here.
Yeah.
What else could I learn about Laurel? But we've learned it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this afternoon's tour of Laurel. And like we said, we just scratched the surface of the treasures you'll find there. So we encourage you to go check it out for yourself.
Stay tuned to DelmarvaLife for our next small town series featuring the town of Snow Hill. In the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our handle is @DelmarvaLife.
WBOC News at 6 is on deck, so we're heading down the hall to the Newsplex. We'll see you back here tomorrow.